I'm sorry I was late, and you were sitting here, you were kind of pissed off for a little while, weren't you?
Well, I mean, when you tell someone you're gonna meet them, I'm just a person that's on time. I'm not judging you. I'm fine with it now, but at first I was kind of like, okay, so does he not want to come, or?
Oh yeah.
I'm just a person that questions a lot of things.
If a guy is late one time, do you forgive him?
One time, yes, but the next time I'm always gonna think he's gonna be late until he's not late.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Have I ever been late before?
Well, this is the first time I'm hanging out with you. So.
It's true. But I mean, the first time I met you, I wasn't late, right? I was just right there.
Yeah. So there was really no timetable.
No timetable.
So I don't know if you're like a guy that's normally late or.
Yeah. I was coming from work. I had some stuff I had to wrap up. There was this gal that was sort of sequestering me socially, and I had to sort of kind of politely but charmingly but somewhat forcefully excuse myself so that I can get out of there, and then I had to go home. I didn't want to smell terrible, so been at work all day, and I had to shower, and I mean, would you rather have a guy be kind of stinky or have him be on time?
I think you probably made the right decision.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you do for work?
I'm a high school guidance counselor. So that's
Was it a student, like someone that you were counseling?
No, it was a teacher.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have to deal with the teachers a lot of the students that you counsel?
Not usually. I mean, sometimes I do, but usually I work with the students and I work with the administrators. So I don't have as many interactions with the teachers. Honestly, I'll be candid. It was this teacher, and she's about like maybe 15 years older than me, and she's lovely. She's very aggressive, and she seems like she's constantly trying to get me to ask her out, but I'm really I'm not interested, And it's like the harder she tries, the more I resist, and the harder she tries, kind of thing, And I don't want to create any awkwardness at work, because I want to have that, be like a good place to have a healthy professional rapport, even though there might be some half-baked romantic weirdness going on, but half-baked on her end, not on my end, because I don't smoke marijuana. But yeah, so that's why I was late, and it's kind of embarrassing, Should have been more cunning, I guess, in my exit from the school.
Well, I do understand people that aggressively try. As a bartender, I don't know if you've ever talked to someone, trying to flirt with your bartender or anything. That happens all the time.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it happens all the time.
You can't just dismiss them. I mean, if I do that, they're not going to tip well. If I do that, they might not come back. So you always have to, turn them down in the nicest way possible. Turn them down in a way they don't think they're getting turned down.
So you have to be a little bit of a tease with them? Is that what you're saying?
Kind of. Yeah. It might sound bad, but...
No, it doesn't sound bad at all.
I mean, you have to pay the bills somehow.
That's right. You do. So you got to know how to work your mojo.
Yes.
I'm sure you know how to work your mojo ever so well.
Yes, it took some years to perfect it.
Perfect it?
Yeah. I mean, I would say I'm pretty good at it now. At first, I was one of those awkward bartenders that was just like, here's your drink, left. Couldn't figure out why everyone was getting more tips than me. I've picked up my craft from several different people that I've worked with over the years. Yeah.
I gotcha.
But so yeah, I know how that is.
Not just
knowledge
of how to make drinks, but knowledge of how to look if the person's just the right way. And
yes.
I know how to read them, so you know how much you can sort of lead them on a little bit without there being any sort of unpleasant consequence.
Yes.
And so you capitalize, you maximize your capital intake that way, right?
Exactly.
Do you get taxed on your tips?
It depends. If they pay with a card, yes. If they pay with cash, no. You know, when someone pays with their card and they just leave a little tip, they add it on to their bill.
Yeah.
You do get taxed on that.
Do you sort of, is there some resentment when someone they tip on the card, or are you just sort of a little rueful about it?
There's not resentment because I think pretty much everyone does that now, every now and then at least. But I do like it better when I just get the cash tips. I mean that's just money in your pocket at the end of the night.
Okay. Yeah. So they don't ever tax on cash.
Mm-mm.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
It's perfect. That's part of the reason I love bartending.
Do you actually love it though?
Ooh, I used to. Back when I was going to school and I just did it because, it's a good way to make money. It's a good way to meet people. I did it because you could sneak some drinks while you're bartending. But now I don't know if it's the place I work now or what it is, but the college bars were so much more fun. Now you work at bars where people come in with problems and they always have to tell you what's going on. It never fails. You know, when I worked at the college bars, it's like I flirt to get tips. I work at this bar, I listen to get tips. I listen to why his wife left him, or I listen to why he's going to leave his wife. Or
what's the worst story you've heard? The most shocking one.
Probably how close a man was to killing his wife.
Really?
Yeah, you don't even realize how close I was to turning that man in. It wasn't so much that I really thought he was going to do it, but just anybody who could think that, anybody who could come up with a plan like that in their mind is a little scary to me.
That's frightening.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And so maybe
and I have
you
to
shaved
straight face that.
Maybe you saved the wife's life by actually listening.
Yeah.
And listening just the right way.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't make a face like, because they don't want judgment. They come here because they don't want to be judged.
And they might project all that shit onto you.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want that.
Obviously, I don't want to make that guy mad. I've seen what he can act like when he is mad. But, yeah. So that was probably the craziest. Terrifying. That was the most shock-worthy. But, you get your normal, my wife cheated on me. But sometimes I think that's their plan to get me. Feel sorry for me. My wife cheated on me.
Yeah. So you're well aware of other people's capacity to manipulate.
Definitely. You have to become aware. Because, if you trusted every single person, you end up looking like bull.
Do you trust me?
I barely know you.
That's true. But just on first exchanges, what you're getting from me right now, do I seem trustworthy?
I don't think I would have come here if I didn't find you trustworthy.
Okay, alright.
So.
Is it fair for someone to be mischievous but also trustworthy?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a rebel. I push the limits, but I'm trustworthy. But
there's a difference between being honest and trustworthy. I was honest with regards to why I was late.
True, okay.
Being honest is good, but sometimes being honest at the wrong time is not trustworthy.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. I think you need to be honest with people. Don't get me wrong. But it's a little bit overrated, isn't it?
Total honesty?
Total honesty, yeah. Because, someone comes up, do I look fat? You don't want to tell them they look fat. You don't want to be that honest, right?
No.
But honesty as far as how you were with me. I was at work, and you didn't say, it's because I was stuck with a student. You were honest about who you were stuck with, so.
Yeah. Oh, Joyce. It just ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry, that sounds horribly arrogant. I shouldn't have not said that, but.
Well, you're talking to someone that probably understands that a little more.
Yeah. I don't know. It's It's odd though. It seems like the more I resist, the harder she tries.
She likes a chase. Yeah. A lot of women do.
Have you ever had someone to like really blow up at you and you basically were like, you're like, so like, here's the deal. Like, maybe you weren't rejecting them per se, but you were saying like, I can't, I'm not there right now, and like, this isn't what is like, you know, we can hang out, but like,
Oh.
I can't, and then like they like blow up at you.
Yeah.
It's really like, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, it's definitely scary. That's why you have to learn how to turn them down without them knowing you're turning them down. It sounds so crazy, but it's the way it has to be. You know, you tell someone, let's just be friends. They don't want to hear that. They're going to blow up.
That's true.
There are some people, I shouldn't say everybody's like that, but a lot of people are like that.
I would find it, I mean, as a guy, and I would find it very, getting rejected after being like heavily involved with someone deeply is incredibly painful. And like, if someone behaves like a little bit of a lunatic after that, I think that's like pretty forgivable.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting like legitimately upset about something. But if there hasn't been any of that, like, and getting upset because someone's not interested at that time, or if they're like, that's like, don't get me wrong, I can empathize, you know, because like, as you know, as a teenager, I felt like that all the time. But like, you know, it's I don't know, I don't think it's all right, I'll be totally honest. Okay, so there was something that happened relatively recently. It was like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
But it still messes with me a little bit. There was this gal. She's like young, very successful, and I admire her greatly. She's like really like, she's absolutely superb. But I was really trying to get my shit together, you know. I was like really working on me and trying to like take care of me. You know, I'm good at my job, like everything's good there, but like I was out of it. I was out of it, you know, 6 months off a breakup, and I was still in like all this pain, you know, and like I don't want to be bringing baggage to the table. I don't want to do the typical like turnaround rebound thing. Came close and I resisted. Thank God I did. And I was working so hard on like trying to get my shit together. And like, man, she was like, it was like she was like, you know, and I could feel it, and I was just like, oh my, like, and it was flattering, really, like, because she's beautiful, and you know, she's like young, successful, like, I mean, my God, like, most guys would just go bananas, but I knew, for me, I just like, I can't, like, I don't care who it is, I need to like take care of myself right now, and I tried to make this clear, and then like, and I had to do it with some vocal forcefulness, you know, because it was like, because her mojo was so intense, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I was just like, I can't put myself out there right now, like, as a guy, like, I can't, really. And then I said, like, but we can hang out. And she was so pissed. She was like, it took like a couple moments for it to register with her. And I felt so bad. Because like, it was like the worst, you know? I was like, oh fuck, I totally blew it. Like, I was trying to be indirect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was trying to like play it right, you know? It wasn't working. And like, so she was really upset. And she like totally was like, she kind of like blew up, you know, almost like a volcano. And I have to say, it was one of the most mesmerizing things I've ever seen in my life. It was like beautiful. That level of anger and that level of passion, like, after she did that, I was like totally in love with her.
Oh.
I know. I know.
But you couldn't say it then. You didn't say it then, right?
No.
Oh.
She stormed off, and which was and there were people across the way that like heard this, so it was kind of embarrassing. I didn't want to gossip, but I probably looked like the asshole, I didn't want to say anything. I was just like, whatever, like I didn't do anything wrong, like let's just let it go, But it took me about, I'd say it took me about like 3 or 4 months for me to like get over that,
Yeah.
and like it was so weird though. It was like this bizarre. I don't know if I almost felt like I was being punished in some way when that happened. It was like Cupid was like behind me, and he was just like looks like you have to take a nice big bite out of the shit burger, because guess what? This is gonna happen now. Like you did something totally honest, totally decent, but you did it at the wrong time, and now this is gonna happen. I mean, like stab me in the back with 0, and
telling someone who's interested in you that you're not interested in them is probably the most awkward situation you can be in.
I did say it in a way that was, I think she misread it, because I said, look, I like you, but.
So you did the total typical, it's not you, it's me?
No, I didn't say that. I said, look, I like you, but like, here's the deal. I don't know. It was.
I think a lot of people use that, which I think that they're being truthful about it, but they're like, I need to find myself first. I need to love myself first. That's a term pretty commonly used.
Everyone takes
I mean,
it
I
so
think
personally.
I've put people down like that several times.
If a gal said that to me, I wouldn't take it personally. I would just be like, okay. Like,
okay, imagine being
regardless of whether
really
or not she's
into
telling me the truth. Regardless of whether or not she's telling me the truth, it doesn't even matter. Like, it's like, okay, well, she's totally telling me the truth, or she's not. If she's not telling me the truth, I wouldn't want to be with her anyways. If she is telling me the truth, I need to respect that.
But imagine being really you don't just like this person, okay? You've been actively trying to be with them. You want them in your life. Okay.
All right.
So you can't think of anyone else anymore. All right.
All right.
And you finally lay it out there, and she's like, okay, well, it's not you because you're great. You're really great. You're probably the greatest guy I've ever met. But it's me. I need to find me first. I'm gonna do a self-search. I mean, would that not hurt a little bit?
Oh, it'd be horribly. It would.
You might react with a little bit of the passion that she did.
I think I probably would. You're right. I was punished. Believe me, I went through.
Oh, I'm not blaming you. I've been there.
I went through the most horrible emotional pain I've been through since the breakup. That was a while back. This was like a year and a half ago, but it was like, things have been pretty smooth since then, and so like I feel like I don't.
Have you talked to her?
It just sort of went away.
Well, that's good though.
It's good. It just sort of and to be fair, there's a little bit more to it that I don't really want to get into right now, but I really did try to I don't know, like I tried to make it right, so that she knew that she wasn't being rejected per se, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it worked. I'm sitting here with an unbelievably beautiful woman, and What?
No.
You don't consider yourself beautiful?
No.
Why not?
I'm just not. I'm just probably the most plain person.
I don't think you're plain. You have this lovely thing about your eyes. It's like, I don't know. They have like the curvature. It's like, it's just sweet. And it's beautiful.
I feel like.
And your eye color is gorgeous. There's nothing plain
I've never had anyone tell me that. I feel like if plain had a picture by it in the dictionary, it'd probably be of like my senior picture or something.
What?
Yeah. That's just how I feel.
Why do you feel that way?
I think
Maybe you're just humble.
maybe. But you walk around here and you see tons of beautiful people. You see beautiful women.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
That's true. But
it's a cliche saying at this point, but it is true. If someone actually believes it, it's not cliche. I believe it. So you're beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that made up for you being late.
Thank you.
I'm going to totally disregard that you were late now.
I feel so much better.
Yeah. So, I hope you're happy. I hope that wasn't your plan. Just by telling me I'm beautiful, you're like, well, maybe this will make her forgive me.
My plan was to be late and then to tell you that you're beautiful so that you would forgive me.
Man, you had it all mapped out.
This
is going according to plan then.
It is.
This is perfect.
It's going exactly according to plan. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just fated that I was going to be late and I got to let you know how beautiful you are.
Maybe Cupid's on your side now. He's giving you tips instead of shooting you in the back. He's like, tell her she's beautiful.
Excuse me, my bad. He just made me burp, so not quite on my side.
Not yet. He still thinks you have a ways to go, but he's helping out a little bit in there.
He's helping out a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, he's a fickle creature, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you prefer Cupid or do you prefer Eros? Roman or Greek?
Ooh, okay. So we're gonna get deep, I guess. As you know, I've never found myself very beautiful, so I never really thought love could find me. I mean, I'm a bartender. I mean, how many people are really interested in bartenders besides, like, let me tell you my problems and maybe you'll be interested in me for the night.
For the night.
Yes. They don't think long term with bartenders. So, I guess the idea of love or Cupid or Eros or anything like that has been such a far off concept to me that I just tell myself not to think about it. Because if you don't think about it, it can't hurt you. If you don't give it a thought, it can't hurt you, right?
If you don't, well, what's the expression? Nothing's good or bad except thinking makes it so. You know what that's from?
No.
It's from Hamlet.
Nice.
Nothing's good or bad except thinking makes it so. Quote Hamlet. Who really is, I don't know. How do you feel like, okay, so this is, I don't know. How open do we want to be with each other right now? I mean, I don't want to be the guy that's like, let's just be open with each other, you know? 'Cause like, I mean, come on, those guys are not good. Let's be honest. But like, how? I mean, are you cool with being like? Can we be candid?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
All right. So like, I've been in situations before where I've been in a relationship, and the gal I was with felt like it was okay to talk about our intimacy with people at a party. And she kind of just told me to go somewhere else so she could tell this gal that she was with all about our sexual exploits.
So you knew she was talking about it in there.
Yeah. And I came back into the room 5 minutes later, and the girl gave me this look of ew, you know, and I was just like, you know, most guys would find that to be very you know, it'd be this major ego strap.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't feel that way, and it was sort of I felt violated in some way, you know, and sort
she
of
was telling you all secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was well, I don't know. It was just I mean, at some level, I was sort of amused. But I, for the most part, though, I was sort of oh, God damn it! Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Let's you know, it's more magical if it's just between us, you know.
Yeah.
And opposed to making it like even remotely public.
I think as a woman, like, I'll just be honest with you, I think most girls probably tell their friends. I'm not saying it was right of her to do it while you were there, or to tell you, hey, we're going to talk about this. So then, when you walked in, you knew what she was, like, looking at you like that for, you know?
Yeah.
And you probably had some of that in your head, you know, like, you just expected her to look at you a certain way.
It was this filthy, dirty, like, oh, you're like, I know all about you now kind of look, you know? It was
yeah.
And, like, on some level, I was sort of, like, into it.
Yeah.
But I was also, like, felt betrayed.
Yeah. I mean, I think that she was going to talk to that girl no matter what. I mean, I think women talk about everything with their close friends. I don't think I think the closer I get with the guy, the less I talk about it.
Okay, so between dudes, if it's a close friend of mine, and we're having an honest conversation about sex, that doesn't necessarily mean we go into like the specifics.
Yeah.
But we can have an honest conversation about like sex and like what it means to us and like what it means to be intimate that way and like all the ramifications or consequences or benefits that might come along with that. That's cool. That's a really cool thing. If two dudes are mature enough to have like an actual conversation like that. What's not cool is a guy or a gal who wants to like maybe brag through like unsolicited personal shares of their respective sexual exploits. It's so obnoxious and it's so uncool. Whenever a guy does that with me, he's like immediately on the shit list, and I know like this is someone I will never trust, and I will never be friends with this person ever.
I feel like you could not be a bartender.
It's different though when you're a bartender though, because that's part of the profession. It's not part of your personal life.
Yeah, that's true. It's just, it gets really hard to listen. It gets hard to listen to the people that are bragging about it. You know, they come in, they actually think, I honestly think that some men think that that's going to make me attracted to them.
Weathering that has to be part of the profession though. Yeah, it is, because you just have to take it. Well, you don't necessarily have to take it, you just have to be able to deal with it.
Well, I mean, if I reacted in any other way than, you know, going along with it, then I'm not getting paid that night. Because bartenders are paid through tips. So
$6 an hour doesn't cut it.
No. I mean, if that's all I lived by, I would probably be in a box somewhere. But, I mean, so you have to just, it's really hard though. I mean, I don't feel like we get enough credit to pretend like you're interested in some of these jerks. Not even interested in them in a way like, oh, I'm interested.
You have to lend them an ear.
Yeah. To even have to like entertain their thoughts for the amount of time that they're in there, I'm like, we do not get enough credit for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ah, jeez. Little bug flying around there, just having a ball. Little June bug. Yeah. It's, it sounds like you do a very good job with that.
Yeah. I mean, there have been times where, I don't know. Because I don't think it's right to brag about, like, your conquests.
A rich man never brags.
No.
It's interesting. Someone who's actually, like, who's arrogant has no charisma.
No.
No charisma. Confidence and humility is charisma. But arrogance is not charisma. If someone's self-aware of what they might be arrogant about, all men, all women have some level of arrogance. It makes it sort of like palatable.
Yeah.
But it's never something that generates any kind of charisma, ever.
Arrogance is like the thing that I would most want to take away. Like, if you could choose a personality trait that just nobody would have, you know, you could say, like, let's just get rid of this, I would choose arrogance.
Yeah.
It's just, it's annoying. But a lot of people have it. And there's a huge difference in confidence and arrogance. Because confidence is nice. You know, you want people to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
Arrogance is annoying.
It's annoying.
I mean, I don't know. You know that person, they feel like everyone likes them. But if you really went around to everyone they hang out with and asked if they were well liked, I don't think that they would be as receivable as they thought they were, as they felt themselves were.
So their self-perception is off kilter.
Yeah. Definitely. I think that's just, you know, the people I deal with, but.
Okay. I got a good question for you. Okay, so one of the English teachers at the school I work at, he's having people examine a very specific literary concept. It involves it's this idea. There's a poet, a guy named Lord Byron, who wrote all these epic poems back in the day. He wrote Childe Harold to the Dark Tower Came. Childe Harold is like this long epic poem. It's been years since I don't think I ever actually finished it. I didn't have the patience for it. But it's all about, the idea is a Byronic hero, right?
Yeah.
And a Byronic hero is someone who is an anti-hero of the highest order. Not necessarily a bad person, but someone who is so infused with passion that they can't necessarily be held completely accountable for their actions because they're so infused with passion. Usually, their passion is a byproduct of some unconscious, deep desire for revenge that they have that they can't but help having. Like Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights is a Byronic hero. Hamlet is a Byronic hero. In fact, like probably one of the first Byronic heroes. He's crazy. He's mad. He's bad. He's dangerous to know. But he's a decent person. Like the play, in many respects, allows him to be portrayed in the best light possible. Yeah. Aside from some of the counter arguments that have been, discussed. So I was thinking, my colleague was thinking, what kind of a Byronic hero would Peter Pan make for? So, if Peter Pan were a Byronic hero, what would he look like? And what would he do? What would be his sort of through line in life?
Yeah.
Because Peter Pan is a very mischievous character.
Yeah.
All women can't help but kind of fall in love with him.
Yeah. And
he has to be mischievous. He has to be cunning. He's a gifted mimic. He's always sort of has Captain Hook's number.
Yeah.
Captain Hook doesn't ever get the best of Peter Pan. No. In fact, it's usually Peter Pan gets the best of Captain Hook, much to Captain Hook's chagrin, and much to everyone else's hilarity.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So if Peter Pan were like sort of Byronic in some way, I feel like he would want to get as many women to fall in love with him as he possibly could, because he knows that they can't help but fall in love with him.
Yeah.
But he would never allow them to actually have him. Ever. So he'd go for his whole life being the most horrible little tease. Or at least for as long as he possibly could.
Yeah.
And every single interaction he would have with the opposite sex would be based in sort of, I know you want me, but I'm not going to let you have me. That would be like his mantra. And it would be something that he would do unconsciously. He would never have to try to do that. It would just sort of radiate out of him. And on some level, he'd be filling every woman he interacts with, their fantasy life of what it might be like to be with Byronic Peter Pan. It would be the best they ever had, the best they'll ever have, but never in reality, only in fantasy.
Won't it end up hurting him though?
That's the thing. It costs him.
Yeah.
It costs him. Yeah. Costs him big time.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, it's great to have all these women fall in love with you, but if you never feel back, if you never experience it back, then what does it? What